everybody? ZMT Sports back and sicker than ever on my end. What was up, Milk Money Cash Money? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain.
Nice. For those watching on YouTube and see my headset around my neck with the mic up, it's because I have a head cold and I don't want the freaking mic and the heat and just things on my ears the whole time. So luckily I can hear Mike through my ears set. And if I sound like crap and it's disgusting and it's throwing you guys off, I apologize and I'll be better next week.
Tom's built different. That's why.
Built different. We don't take any weeks off because of a little cold. And no, I don't have COVID, which is good because that's what I keep getting asked every time I explain to somebody what the hell's going on with me. They're like, "Oh, you got the vid. You got COVID." No, I fucking don't.
COVID's dead. Great. Let's just fucking throw it out there. You know, I'm not in the mood. Let's just throw it out there. COVID's bullshit. All right, let's go. No, just kidding. It's not bullshit, but it's over with now. Vaccines are out. You have no excuse anymore. Go outside, build your immune system. That's it. Exactly. All
right. If this is COVID, and I'm not listen, I went to the doctor's yesterday. He told me if I go get a COVID test, I'm an idiot because he knows what this is. It's an upper respiratory infection from allergies, and postnasal drip. Right. I'm just giving you my doctor's terms right now. But he said if I go and get a COVID test, I'm an idiot because it's not COVID. And if it is COVID, then I don't know why the hell we shut down a country for
a respiratory issue
for years like this because I have asthma and I'm not in any pain right now, like at all.
Exactly.
At all.
I literally had the same thing. I'm sorry, I would bring it up. I literally had the same thing familiar to you. I had like a severe bronchitis like a few months back, and then everyone was like, "Oh, like you might have COVID." No, I had bronchitis. It's a totally different thing. But but yeah, the doctor said the same thing to me. He said to you, he's like, "Yeah, it's not COVID. You have bronchitis, but you know, you might get marked down as COVID because everyone thinks everything's COVID." All right, that's it.
Anyway, our baseball teams, let's finally start with some baseball for the first time on our podcast.
Yeah, man. I mean, both of for the last time we talked about our baseball teams, I mean, things are going pretty well for both. I'd say now. You got two powerhouses in New York, and it's great. You know, it's great for the both of us in that aspect. You know, I can go with that.
I mean, I wouldn't consider the Mets a powerhouse yet.
They're gonna be a playoff team, and they've
won 6 in a row. Yeah, I mean, the NL is so tough this year, record wise. I mean, think about it. The Mets are 4 games over 500, and they're only a game up over the Phillies in the division. The Braves haven't played their best baseball yet. Nationals are 2 years removed. One real season removed from winning the World Series. So. And the Marlins are a young team they're just pesky. They play the division tough. So I don't know if the Mets are a powerhouse yet. What's been the biggest thing for me when it comes to the Mets is that they're injured. They're without 2 of their premier starting pitchers. Even though DeGrom and Stroman have been great, DeGrom's even hurt now.
Yeah.
And somehow they've won 6 in a row and they're 4 games over 500. They've done it with guys like Lindor hitting under 200. He's, hitting over 500 now.
He's starting to go over the hill a little bit the last few games.
Yeah. He's hitting over 500, got 2 more hits last night, 5-game hitting streak. The last 6 games, like I said, he's hitting over 500. But we're doing it like guys like Conforto is just getting hot. Nimmo's been out for weeks now. J.D. Davis, our starting third baseman, has been hurt for a couple weeks too. I think he's played 2 games in the last 2 weeks. So I think that's the biggest sign for me. The Mets have found a way to be over 500 and won 6 in a row against solid baseball teams. And they're not at full strength yet,
Yeah.
Our third pitcher right now, Taijuan Walker, who I mentioned to you last week, is pitching to a 2.3 RA. He's pitching today against the Orioles, which I have a weird feeling is not going to do well. But that's our 5 starter, really. Come June, come 2.3, July.
2.3 RA is not bad for a 4th guy rotation. That's not.
Yeah, but he's going to be our 5th. I mean, there's guys in other rotations that are their aces pitching plus 3 ERAs.
Yeah,
we're going to have a guy. Yeah, it's been a big enough sample size. We're going to have a guy pitching to hot mid 2, low 3s as our 5 starter when Carrasco and Syndergaard come back. So I think that's the most exciting thing about
Syndergaard
so far. Yeah.
Syndergaard.
What about you though? Like, what's been the most exciting thing that you've seen from the Yankees? Because they started off so shit, and you were ready to jump ship. You ready?
Yeah, I was.
Wrap it up, and I told you, dude. What did I tell you? What was that day? Was it against the Orioles?
They're still gonna win. It was against Indians that I picked, the Cleveland Indians.
And I said they were down 3-0. You were texting me. You're like, they are shit. They're done. This team sucks. I said they're going to come back, and before you know it, they're going to be over 500, and they're going to win 100 games still. And look.
Still got 80 to go, Tom, or 81. But
games.
No, but like we talked about, I was ready to jump up, but like we said, we talk about it. New York fans suck. I'm one of them. For one of them. So the New York fans do suck. So yeah, when the Yankees were the second worst team in the league, not even a few weeks back, I mean, it's like, what the hell is going on? But I know they always have slow starts, but it is what it is. But it just was not the Yankees, like this was a really slow start, really slow out the gate, last place, you know what I'm saying, in the division, second worst team in the league record wise, behind Arizona at the time, or in front of Arizona at the time. But yeah, I mean, they won the last 8 out of 10. They finally went into the Tropicana. They beat Tampa yesterday. Like, holy fucking shit! Like, when was the last time that happened for the Yankees?
Cole
Like,
pitching tonight.
Yeah, Tampa literally owns the Yankees lately, and I can say that respectfully. So, getting a win to Tropicana yesterday with Garrett coming in today, it's a big series that we could win on the road in Tropicana, especially because they haven't won there. As for team wise, I mean, over the last 10 game stretch, I think the strength wise, I would say their offense is very still iffy. There's only a few people that I can trust when they're up at bat. People get spurts here and there. Like yesterday, like Sanchez and Judge hit a home run yesterday, but at the same time, Judge was literally 0 for 24 in his last 24 at bats in the last series beforehand against the Nationals. And that's against a team that you should. I mean, obviously Max Scherzer is amazing and everything like that, pitching wise. The Nationals don't have a bad pitching gig, but at the same time, that is a series you need to show out. You need to be Aaron Judge that you've been the whole season, because at the same time, it's literally been Judge and GJ LeMahieu, the only ones who's been absolutely consistent on the Yankees, maybe with Gio Urshela. But hitting wise, there has been no one consistent on the Yankees, and that's what drives me crazy. But the pitching staff, as in Chad Green, Aroldis Chapman, has been absolutely amazing. He's been
your bullpen.
unreal. Yeah, the bullpen rotation has been amazing. Starting wise, Corey Kluber's been Garrett Cole has been living up to his money. But yeah, I mean, I guess the pitching and the defensive side of the ball is holding up in their own to make up for this offense that usually is the Bronx Bombers, but it hasn't been this year.
Baby Bombers.
The Baby Bombers this year
are no longer babies anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, they're definitely not the Bronx Bombers this year. It's been very rare. And for them to even score 5 or 6 runs in the game, it's always been they've been winning close games lately, which is good on the defensive side of things, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think the one thing that worries me about the Yankees, is that I don't know. I know their offense is underperforming, right? Because it's the same guys, and they're gonna figure it out because they've figured it out, every other year. It's the same players. I don't know if the starting rotation is what it is or if it's overperforming, if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Like, I think that's the one thing that would work. If I was a Yankee fan, I think I'd be like, we better, like you said, we better take advantage of this really good pitching. And that's what they weren't doing earlier in the year. Now they're starting to take advantage of it because you might not be getting this throughout the year. You're going to get Severino back. You're probably going to make a deadline deal for a guy like Scherzer or a guy like
Fletcher,
someone along those lines. Yeah. You're probably going to make a deadline deal for another starter. But I think they have to take advantage of the good pitching they're getting. The bullpen is always going to be the bullpen. It's always going to be solid. But I think that's the only thing that would worry me about a Yankee fan. The thing that worries me about the Mets is I think their pitching is their pitching. I think that's what it's going to be, and it's only going to get better because we're pitching well. One of the top starting rotation.
And you're missing most of your key guys too.
And we're missing 2 of our key guys. Our offense, though, is underperforming, but I kind of think this is what these players are. They're streaky. That we don't have a guy in the lineup other than Jeff McNeil, who's now hurt, and they called it body cramps yesterday. But who the hell knows? He's not in the lineup today. They don't have a guy, and Lindor's supposed to be that guy along with McNeil that's just going to get hit after hit after hit. They got guys like Conforto that will carry the team for a week. They got guys like Alonso that will carry the team for a week. They have guys like JD Davis that will carry the team for a week, and then we're searching for that dude that just come in and to join McNeil and hit over 300 and get on base. Nimmo has the highest on base percentage in the league, and is top 5 in the league in on base percentage every year of his career.
That's why I picked him over Hicks.
And why you picked him over Aaron Hicks, which that was a little move on me. The big thing about Nimmo too is that he can never stay healthy, just like Hicks.
Yeah.
So Nimmo, we're missing him in the lineup, But if I had to choose one thing from each team that I'd be worried about, it'd be the Mets. I think their offense is what it is. I don't know if it's going to get any better. I mean, probably they'll have streaks. And then the Yankees is this starting – like, are you going to expect Corey Kluber to be this solid for the whole year? I mean, It's probably not going to happen. I mean, Could, but it's probably not. And I can't expect out of nowhere 4 of our guys that are like Alonso, Conforto, Lindor, all of them to snap out of it. Players have down years. This could be for a couple of those guys, So that's the only thing that worries me about them. And the bullpen. The bullpen's been lights.
Yeah. Bless you.
Thanks. That's gross, but I muted myself so you didn't have to hear the gross sneeze.
You're good, man. You're good. No, I like it.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
like you said, no, the Mets are what, 17 and 13 right now?
13.
Or yeah, 17, 13. Yankees are 19 and 16 right now. Both got winning records, both living up to the New York name and expectations so far this year. Obviously, little slow starts for both of them, but I think as the year goes on, I think like the preseason power rankings we were talking about and the predictions,
I
I
think they'll
think
be right on the money.
I think they'll be right on the money with it for sure. I think these two will definitely be playoff teams, either first or second in the division. So, good start with that. I think we're going to jump around today a little bit. I think we should end with. I think we should jump around with the NFL schedule last because I think that's the most exciting thing. But second, I just want to talk about how I actually sat down and watched the NBA basketball game yesterday and
Knicks,
actually enjoyed
baby.
it. They really are. They were an entertaining team to watch yesterday. You've been right. I haven't sat down and actually watched them play. But that Lakers Knicks game was actually one of the most entertaining NBA games I've watched in a long time.
Want to know why? Not to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
33 fourth quarter points. The lowest fourth quarter point total in the NBA, and I think I saw 13 years. Combined teams.
The defense in that game was unreal. For what you've never
That's what the
seen in
Knicks
the
are
NBA.
all year this year. That's why I love it.
Well, you had the Lakers there Lakers are ranked number 1 defensively, right? In the NBA right now.
Yeah, like
I think they're top 5.
wise, like
stat wise. And the
Yep.
Knicks were ranked 3, I think 3 or 4 that they said. But like we were talking about, it's the NBA. I'm not a fan. I generally am not a fan of the NBA, but I watch it, for bets and all that stuff. But to actually sit there and watch a game that went back and forth, had great defensive play, had unreal effort the entire game. It was definitely interesting. It was different. I had money on the Knicks yesterday. I wish they won. I would have won $100, but fuck me.
RJ
But yeah, I don't. That last position was rough. I don't know
what killed me the most was not getting the defensive rebound for that dude. I forgot his name to put back in to send the game to overtime.
Wesley Matthews.
Oh my god.
Fuck is Wesley?
The Knicks can't be blowing 10-point games. I mean, you're bringing up this game for the fact that for you it's like I actually enjoyed it, right? Because you kind of hate the NBA, right? And then you sat down and you watched it all. Yeah. For me, it was like a blast of the past. I was pissed off last night when I went to sleep. Like the Knicks should not have lost that game, and they fell from 4th to 6th in the conference. Now they're looking at the Bucks.
It was a big contest game when it came to the playoffs, because if they won, they would have pushed that 4th spot. 4th spot was theirs. And that's what makes it interesting. Like usually NBA playoffs is like set in stone by this time, like going in, like with this many remaining games. Usually how these teams, it's just usually set in stone. But literally this year, it's kind of different when it comes to that point. Like other teams are fighting for different positions. A lot of clinches could have happened, but didn't. Like same thing for the Mavs. Like I'm a Mavs fan, anything like that. Like yesterday, they could have clinched a certain spot yesterday, and they got blown out by Memphis. Like what the hell? Like it's all over the place. It is different. I'm not going to give total credit to the NBA yet until LeBron James in that too. Until LeBron James out of the league, because I don't like him. But I'm just kidding.
He wanted no part of the Knicks. Let me tell you something. This is the one thing that I don't like about the NBA. One, I'm not gonna rank on this part, but he wanted no part of the Knicks' hard defense. Why couldn't he play? Why couldn't he play yesterday? But now he's gonna play today, right? The next day. He really need that extra day, and they're raising the banner today with the fans there, or something like that. But like, why? He wanted no part. He wanted no part of the hard-nosed Knicks defense. He wanted no part. And then on top of it, him and AD like kissing and waving goodbye, Spike Lee at the end of the game, like. When's the last time that like a Lakers super fan goes to every single one of their games? And,
no one.
And don't be waving to Spike Lee and the Knicks who are actually building the right way, and a team that you never wanted to come to because you're too much of a pussy to go to New York, because if you don't win there, you're going to get absolutely reamed because you're supposed to be the best basketball player in the world, but you don't want to win in the best place to win in the NBA.
I agree.
He even said it a couple weeks ago. When the Knicks are good, it's good for the NBA because the ratings will go through the roof for the NBA because they're getting probably the biggest market in basketball other than the Lakers, probably number 1 or number 2. They're getting it back. But yet you never wanted to go and play in a hard-nosed city, blue-collar city. You went to go play with the suits and the TikTokers in LA, and you get to hide in the background, and you don't get to do it. And KD and Kyrie did the same thing. Instead of playing in New York, the Knicks are more – think about this. The Knicks are more relevant and get more media attention as a 4 seed with Julius Randle as their star, then the
Amazing.
team,
That's
a
3
bridge
superstars.
away,
4
the
superstars.
Williamsburg bridge away from them, like with Durant and Harden and Kyrie. Like,
And Griffin.
it's actually
Blake
crazy.
Griffin. And it's insane. No, I agree. And I think for once, I think that the Knicks deserve the hype that they're getting. They are a really good fundamental basketball team, and like you said, it's different. Seeing the Knicks be relevant because they haven't been this relevant in this time since probably Carmelo. What was it, like 2012 was like the last time that they went?
2013.
Yeah, 2013. Yeah, so definitely different. Like you said, I'll continue to say it because I want the NBA to hear me until they convince me otherwise. I really do not like the league because of everything that's happened over the last decade. I just think that it's literally a pick me league. I hate using that word because when you describe people like that, it's rude, but it really is a pick me league. It's like, yeah, I'll join you because we'll be a super team and everything like that. But the Knicks are not a super team, but they're being relevant because they're playing fundamental good basketball, which is different. Old school basketball, which is different. Like you brought a veteran in D Rose out and he is playing phenomenal. You brought out a veteran in Julius Randle that was relevant on the Lakers, but now he's carrying the team on his back in the Knicks. Like I like that. I like players that reevaluate themselves and come up on a different team to build a foundation. When you do that, when you're LeBron, AD, and Kyrie and Durant, you're going to a team. You're not building a foundation. You're just literally ring chasing. That's what you're doing. And I think that's why I'll give respect to the Knicks and the NBA this year for that aspect of certain teams are doing that. But besides that, not convinced yet. Still not.
You know what's exciting about the NBA? I was thinking about this. I don't know so much for the Western Conference, but the Eastern Conference. Yeah, it's most likely probably going to be some of a combination of Brooklyn, Philly, or Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah,
but it might not. Like there's not a high chance, but it's a lot higher than the years past when we knew it was going to be Cavs, Celtics, or we knew it was going to be. We knew the teams, right? But you got teams like the Knicks. The Knicks could steal a series from a team like the Bucks if they don't show up. The Heat can beat any of those teams. If the Knicks somehow get to a 4 seed, they could probably beat Atlanta, and then they'll probably play Brooklyn or they'll probably play Philadelphia, and it'll be a tough series. There's not going to be any walkthroughs in the Eastern Conference this year. I think that's what's exciting me the most.
I love the Eastern Conference in NBA this year compared to the West by far. Like I think it's like the East side of things. Like they're all teams that were built, you know what I'm saying? They were built. Like they weren't like there's no ring chasing on that side. Like you have
except the Nets have turned into that.
Well, besides the Nets, excuse me on that, but the Sixers all drafted or they've been there from the beginning. Knicks, like I said,
the Bucks really too.
Yeah, same thing for the Bucks, and then the Knicks. They were all trades of old veterans that nobody else wanted, and they built it into something. That's what I like. And on the West side of things, you have the stacked Lakers. You have the Clippers, and it's just like it's the same thing. And obviously you have Golden State and the Lakers. They might play in the first play-in game this year. Like it is so the same thing here every time and time again. And that's what I don't like about the West side of things. But yeah, I give credit to the East side of things for sure, except with the exception of the Nets. But yeah, for sure.
I hope the Knicks don't do what the Nets did, because the Nets remember the Nets were a playoff team not last
2 years ago,
year before, right? With LeVert, with oh my God, what the fuck is his name?
What position was it?
D'Angelo Russell. With LeVert, Joe Harris, right? Those guys, right? They built with them, and then they traded them all away to get what they have now. So I hope the Knicks don't trade RJ Barrett, don't sign Julius Randle to trade him or whatever to go get Anthony Davis and then pair him up with Chris Paul, and then I don't want.
Yeah, I agree.
And the one thing I do got to give the West credit for are there's 2 teams, 3 teams actually. I kind of see it, but I don't want to be the one to jump out that I think the NBA might be changing. I think it might be because you're starting to see these teams, right? They're finally paired with the right coaches and right schemes. You're starting to see the teams with, 3 big 3 or big 4. They're not necessarily dominating like they used to be. Like the Suns really only have Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and then position players. Utah has Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and then players around them that
and
fit the
then
system.
and then Denver as well, like the
And I was about to say,
Nuggets.
Denver
Yeah,
has Jokic, and then they lost Murray, but they have Porter, and they have just pieces around them. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And
It's basketball again. Like it's
exactly.
build with what you have. Yeah, I know what you're
Yep.
saying.
Because look with
Yeah,
the Lakers, like LeBron and AD has gotten hurt, and look, they're a 7 seed. You know, they're a 6, 7 seed because in years past, LeBron would be out for the Cavs for months, and that team would still dominate because the other teams were star chasing, like you said, and would have no business playing any of those teams. You know what I mean? Because
exactly.
when like when LeBron would be out, Kyrie would play, and then when Kyrie would be out, LeBron would play, and that's what's happened with the Nets too. The
Yeah,
Nets
just
don't.
think about it. When just think about it, at one point, this has been
Yeah.
like they're taking away, but this is really been when LeBron was out for Miami. You still have Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and
Yeah.
all these guys to pick up the slack. When he was out on Cleveland, you still had Kevin Love, you still had Kyrie to pick up the slack. Like
J.R. Smith. Yeah.
exactly. And then with the Lakers this year, you have Kuzma and an old Andre Drummond. Like it's different, and I know what you're saying, and it's what makes it a lot more entertaining and special this year than what it's been the last decade or so.
Yep.
For sure.
Definitely. So the Knicks loss last night pissed me off. I was upset this morning. I was
I
upset
was
when I went
pissed
to
off.
bed.
I'm not even a fan. I was pissed off.
But it was a blast. It was a blast to the past of me being emotionally invested in a Knicks basketball game because I know it's like they're not winning. Like I know they're not winning the finals, but they can make a playoff run. This team.
No one. I
That's
think
what's exciting.
they
You
could
know, they're not.
they could definitely win a playoff series for sure.
Yeah,
At least one of them.
that's what I want. In years past, it's like, yeah, sure, they'll get an 8 seed. They'll be, swept by the fucking Cavs like there's no chance, like they're not beating LeBron with freaking, 39-year-old Jason Kidd. Like it's not like that anymore, which is
Yeah,
just exciting. I also like Portland on the West too with Carmelo and Dame, but I
that's
don't know
true.
if they're
Yeah. That's true in the West as well.
yeah.
I mean, I guess there
All
is a lot
right.
more built name teams in the West than I give credit for, but
Yeah.
I'm
I think
I
it's
still
just
heavy
basketball
favorite.
changing a little bit.
Yeah, I still heavy favorite the East. You want to get into the NFL schedule?
Let's round it up a little bit. There's been some leaks. Let's just I think the Jets have only have 4 leaks. I have a lot to say about the Jets schedule. Not a lot to say, but it's already pissed me off. And I know you have some comments to make about Dallas and Tampa Bay week 1 to open up the season and how people are slandering why they make it the Cowboys and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, motherfuckers, it's America's team. That's why. And y'all will be watching.
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
it is.
sir. What do you
So
want
I'll
me
let
to
you
do?
take the floor.
Yeah, no, but yeah, start off the NFL season 2021 special 17 game season. The Dallas Cowboys will be taking on the Tampa Bay returning champion Buccaneers. And it is just, the slander is unreal. It really is unreal. It's just, yeah, the Cowboys won 6 games last year. They were also missing their franchise quarterback. They were also had a new coach. They had banged up injuries left and right. Their defense was the worst in historic history. They fixed those things. Dak is back. Second year with McCarthy. Things can change. Dan Quinn on the defensive side of things. We made the Legion of Boom. Finally got some talent with him. And you have the audacity to bash the Dallas Cowboys because they are the headliner of the NFL season. And you want to know why? Because like you said it best, Tom, they are America's team. And the reason why they are the headliner, the reason why they get all these primetime games is because if you like them or not, and majority of the time you don't, you're going to watch them because you want to see them lose. And if you're a fan, you want to see them win. They are the most valued team in sports. And that is the reason why they get the headliners, because they are the most valued team in sports, and you either hate them or you love them. And I am so sick and tired of the Dallas Cowboys not getting respect, which they don't deserve just yet because they aren't a good football team yet. But I can't wait until me or you, Tom, if the Jets hold up a Lombardi or the Cowboys hold up a Lombardi, they can't tell me shit. And I can't wait until that day. It's going to be a very long time, but when that day happens, nobody will touch me ever again.
Surprise you.
I know. I'm just saying. I just want to see an NFC Championship game, Tom. But I'm just saying. But just starting off for this upcoming year, just say that. Just say for this upcoming year. Yeah, exactly. But for this upcoming year, obviously there's a kind of other games that you could go and like go. You could say like Chiefs Bucks or Packers Bucks for the NFC Championship rematch or the Super Bowl rematch. Like why the Cowboys? Well, here's why the Cowboys, because it pissed you off. And I think that is what the NFL is trying to do. And I love every single second of it being a fan. And I can't wait to see the matchup. I think it's going to be an entertaining heartbreak for me, probably. But at the same time, it is going to be an entertaining game because it is the Cowboys. Go ahead.
It's all about money, man. It's
Oh yeah,
literally all that money. They put Tom Brady right alone. I mean, it's the Buccaneers, right? They're Super Bowl champions. That's the game every year. The Super Bowl champions open up the season. Last year, they decided to do Chiefs Texans.
yeah.
Ratings were down.
That was
They were down.
random.
Why
It's
did they
so
choose the
random.
Texans? Deshaun Watson, like the Texans, trading for more players that offseason. Bill O'Brien, they thought they did the AFC Championship rematch, right? It was Houston, and they thought it was going to be because the AFC Championship game was so high, they thought they were going to get the same viewers that they did, and they did it. And then the whole story going into the first week of Sunday is NFL viewership might be down this year because of politics, blah, blah, because they chose Chiefs Texans. So what they do this year, fans back, full capacity in Tampa Bay. We're going to choose. It's Tom Brady, our biggest figure. We're going to put him against our most valuable team, and the ratings are going to go through the roof, and it's going to completely flip the narrative from ratings are going to be down this year to ratings are going to be up because
Absolutely.
it's going to be the most watched football game in probably years because
Damn right.
because Dak Prescott, new money, opening up with the biggest, most valuable team, it's going to happen. It was a great job by the NFL.
Yeah.
But speaking of week one,
most valuable team versus Super Bowl champion. Like, I mean, like what else can you
and
ask
their
for?
biggest figure, Tom Brady.
Exactly.
It was all about the dollar, and they nailed it.
And
But
then
speaking of week one, I think the NFL, this is one of my, personally, I don't like it because of course, but they did a great job of grabbing storylines, man. I mean, the Jets open up in Carolina week one. Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson, probably. I'm going to be there. And I told my sister this morning because I saw her before she went to work. She was like, "Can you believe the Jets are opening up with Carolina?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." And when the Panthers have the ball, I'll have my black or blue Sam Darnold jersey on. And then when the Jets have the ball, I'll flip it over and put on whatever Jet jersey that I have that day. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to play both sides. But listen, it's a fun trip for me because I like to travel to Jet games. So I'm definitely going to go to Carolina first, second weekend in September. It'll be warm. It'll be nice. Southern climate. It'd be great. I don't like having to start against Sam Darnold because I know the writing on the wall already. He's going to tear it up because it's week one, and he always plays well week one. He's going to tear it up with his new team. Robbie Anderson's going to score a touchdown. Zach Wilson's going to look shaky, a good defense, solid defense, fast defense in Carolina in his first game. New coach, new system, new everything. Jets are on the road. They're going to lose.
Just think about it. Just think about it. I'm sorry. I'll let you continue in a second.
Yeah.
But just think about it. Everything, like you said, right on the wall. If it was like mid-season or late season, you could have determined if you were right.
And it wouldn't matter what Sam Darnold
exactly. You would have had time to think about if you were right. You would have to watch Zach Wilson play first on the Jets. Everything. I see Sam Darnold play against other teams first. But now you have in the first game of the season, right off the bat, you get to see if you were right or wrong. And I think that's why this is incredible. I think it's a great exactly
the narrative. It's a lose-lose for me. Like Zach Wilson can ball out, right? And Sam Darnold could shit the bed. Am I really going to say that Zach Wilson was the right choice after 1 week?
No.
But if Sam Darnold balls out, throws for 350, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and then the Jets get blown up by 20,
you can say it. You can say
I can say it because I'm like, this is Sam Darnold when you put weapons around him, and Zach Wilson's a rookie quarterback. So whatever. What also pisses me off, the Jets are in London. I wanted to go to Atlanta and see them because that was one of my favorite stadiums, cheap fucking concessions. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, just loves his fans, and I wanted to go and witness, the Jets playing in Atlanta. Now that's in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, and I'm not going to be able to go to that game, but I just hate the London 9:30 a.m. start. Like, fuck that. They play the Broncos, I think, on the road week 3, which means they're going road, home, London, bye. I mean, an early bye. Week 6 in a 17-game season, it's a disaster. It's literally a disaster.
Gotta switch it up, baby. Switch it up. Tom's dying on mute right now. Tom's dying.
Dude, whatever. I can't wait for the full schedule to come out. Our next podcast we could do a little fun win-loss projection for.
Yeah, I was gonna say like once we get the full schedules, we could do a little predictions for our teams, or we can do vice versa. Dude, Tom, you are dying.
I'm talking a little too much, so my throat is getting a little mucousy and dry.
Here, Tom, ready like this, because we're gonna wrap this up. I know you got a job to do and everything like that, but we're gonna wrap this up real quick. Ready?
Okay. So you're gonna ask me a question.
I am. We're gonna do a little power round, just really early 2020 NFL season, week 1 prediction. All right, ready? Cowboys at Bucks. Who you got?
Buccaneers.
I got Buccaneers as well. I think Cowboys is in a heartbreaker. Steelers at Bills. Or first
Steelers.
1:00 game. I'm going with the Bills. You know how high I am on the Bills.
Bills are going to suck this year.
Jets at Panthers.
Panthers.
Yeah, I got Panthers as well. Jaguars at Texans. Oh,
Texans.
I got Jaguars. I think a little Trevor Lawrence action at the beginning of the year. You know, Cardinals at Titans.
Cardinals.
I like the Cardinals as well. Chargers at Washington. That's actually a really good matchup. I think I'm going to go Chargers. I think Justin Herbert goes off first week against that defense. Give me a say. Eagles at Falcons.
Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to be very underrated this year.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts going to go for 3 touchdowns that game. Mark it down. Seahawks at Colts. Little Carson Wentz versus Russell Wilson.
I think the Seahawks might be bad this year.
I agree. And I think Carson Wentz is going to start off the gate hot too. I think I'm going to give everyone the benefit of the edge, all these new teams. I think that's how it's going to start. Vikings at Bengals.
Vikings.
Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins. I like the Vikings too. I don't think the Bengals are just there yet. 49ers at Lions. They're both
Lions. I think Dan Campbell gets that team fired up, and it's at Detroit, right?
I think it's going to be like last. Yeah, it's at Detroit. And you think remember last year, like when Jacksonville won their first game of the year against who did they beat? The Colts. Yeah, I think it could be like that too. I think I'm going to go Lions as well. I'm going to lean toward that as well. Browns at Chiefs. Little AFC divisional rematch. Yeah, I'll go Chiefs as well. Dolphins at Patriots. Mac Jones, maybe. Mac Jones against Tua.
Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to start off 1-0 this year.
I think the Patriots do as well, especially Mac Jones under center. Broncos at Giants. Smash the under. That is the first thing I'm going to say.
I want to go with the Giants. I think the Giants are at home. I'm going to take them at home.
I think I agree. Unless Aaron Rodgers goes to the Broncos, I'm picking the Giants as well. Yeah. Packers at Saints.
Aaron Rodgers there, Packers. Aaron Rodgers not there, Saints.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say as well. If Aaron Rodgers is there, Packers by 1 million. The 8:00 game, the Bears at the Rams. Rams, Matthew Stafford, baby. It's gonna be so exciting. And then the first Monday night game of the year, Ravens at Raiders.
Ravens are gonna run wild on that defense. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I agree as well. Lamar Jackson's gonna make his first MVP case. Another MVP case, I think, with that first game of the year. So I think we a little power run.
It's the worst betting weekend ever. Nobody knows what week one's going to be. Don't even bet week one.
Like everything we just said and thought about, I think I'm going to just do the opposite. And
it can completely change come week one. You know what I mean? Or freaking.
Like literally the Denver Giants game could change if Rodgers actually goes to Denver, and then the Packers Saints game might change it.
Training camp injuries, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Little like how they have really early mock drafts, really early NFL prediction.
We should have went against the spread. There's early spreads already on these games. Can you believe that shit? NFL's king.
Are you serious?
Jets are 5-point underdogs in Carolina.
Oh, smash Carolina.
With the Jets +5, baby, lock it in.
Of course, the one time I picked the Jets last year, they lose by 40.
Sam Darnold over 1.5 touchdown passes, lock it in. Robbie Anderson, anytime touchdown score, lock it in. Christian McCaffrey over 2.5 touchdowns, lock it in.
3.
But Jets +5.
Yeah, they'll find a way.
I think the Cowboys are 2.5, 3.5 point underdogs opening up.
It's not too bad. Not too shabby.
Lock it in. Buccaneers -3.5. Antonio Brown, anytime touchdown score. Mike Evans, anytime touchdown
score. Rob Gronkowski,
anytime touchdown score. Dak Prescott, over 3.5 touchdown passes.
Listen,
over 56.5.
I'll say it now. I'm happy with the rebrand and everything like that. Like I think this we'll keep this as our look because as years go on or as time goes on, we're obviously going to have to do what we've been doing since the football season ended. But I'm not going to lie when I say how much I miss the football season. That is our element. That's our sport. Yeah, that was our
Devils
element.
Rangers.
And that too, yeah.
We're weird. We don't really fuck with the NBA too much. We don't really mess with the MLB, but hockey and football, we give
content,
baby.
Content, yeah, exactly.
Like we should really think about talking football even in the off season.
Yeah, we might just have to escalate to that because like this has been fun and everything like that. I like
really basketball or baseball guys. No. I mean, I'm a baseball fanatic, but we don't have that vibe baseball wise,
Yeah, we don't connect as well when it comes to what we did in football season and then with the hockey season. So, maybe changes are coming. I think I don't know, but I mean,
we'll just go
We'll go with
football
the
from
flow.
now on, and then just touch on big news. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it separately. We'll gauge the public.
Well, at the same time, Tom's not loyal, so he's not wearing his. But
it's in the wash right now, actually.
ZMT Sports sweatshirts are here, man. They look nice. They're comfy and everything like that. I think we're gonna do a little sale soon. I think $40 a sweatshirt, shirts $20. And I think we'll. I know there's a couple of our boys are really interested in buying some. So,
and if you don't want our Bitmojis staring at you on your sweatshirt, we could probably remove those too.
We could remove those, or I think with our shirts, I think we're just gonna have like a ZMT Sports logo, like by the boob, and then just have it. On the chest. So
on our boobs, on people's chests.
Yeah, but then sweatshirts are going to be this, baby, because this is tough. But
right before though we wrap up, though, I had to say this: congratulations to the New York Rangers. Your first step to becoming a Stanley Cup contender began today, firing head coach David Quinn. And fun fact for you: the Rangers are the first team in NHL history to fire 5 consecutive coaches that had winning records as head coach. That's the first time in NHL history the Rangers have fired head coaches. Let me say it again. And every single one has had a winning record. Elite franchise. When teams would kill. David Quinn was 14 games over 500 as our coach. Oh, actually, I think it was 21. Hold on, let me get the thing. Right before we end, Let me just sprinkle that in there for you.
I got to start.
He was 9 games over 500 as head coach. Fired. Not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough.
Not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough. Not good enough.
Losing Joel was like 60 games over 500. Not good enough.
Losing 7 out of the last 11 games of the year when you're trying to get a playoff spot definitely won't do it. So I agree. They should
injuries, bro.
Yeah, injuries. See the injuries.
We didn't lose 7 out of 11.
Look at that. Look at the fucking schedule.
Nope, we did not lose 7 out of 11.
I got it right here because I knew you'd bring it up.
I think we lost 4 out of 6.
All right, here we go. Ever since your sweep against the Devils when you were so high and mighty, you ready? L 6-1 against the Islanders. L 3-2 against Philly. W against Philly 4-1. Buffalo beat them twice. Islanders L. Washington L. Boston L. Boston win to end the season. So that's
how is that 7 out of 11?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 plus 11. 7 out of 11.
They went 4-7.
As I'm saying, they lost 7 out of the last 11.
Yeah, but saying they lost 7 out of 11, but that's not bad. They went 4-7. They went 3 games under 500, bro. That happens, and they lost the Islanders twice.
I'm saying because they were fighting for a playoff spot at the time. That's not a good way to go out. That's just not. I'm sorry.
But I'm not having this conversation because they really weren't fighting for
They
had no chance.
They were.
They had no chance.
Yeah, because they were losing all their games. That's
why.
Yes, Boston was hot, but like you guys didn't even contest because you kept losing games.
I didn't want to talk about hockey, but do you know if the Rangers even won out, they still wouldn't have made the playoffs because
yes, but at least make it interesting. Like this, they didn't help it out.
Yeah, of course they didn't, but they're obviously you could tell by the changes they're making. The team was not just there yet. But I've been saying that in this schedule, they were not a playoff team. In a normal season, they're a playoff team, and they probably look completely different right now.
Not this year. All right, baby.
Talking shit about me, my team going 4-7 in the last 11. In the middle of the year when the Devils were still fighting because they were still kind of good, they lost freaking 16 out of 17 hockey games.
Yeah, and they finished with the last 10 games of the year. They had a better record than the Rangers did. So
congratulations when they were playing for literally.
Yeah, neither were the Rangers apparently.
They weren't. I knew they weren't. I was the one saying it, and the Devils cost themselves a better draft pick. So they're actually stupid.
They're gonna be fourth. They're gonna be fourth pick in the draft. So it didn't really change that much. So they're gonna get the Hughes brothers, and they're gonna shit on Kako and laugh like they've been. So that's it.
Good episode, Mike.
I love wrapping up by getting you angry, man.
No, I'm not angry. I mean,
you are nonsense. I was telling you a record, and you got angry
because you're like 4-7. Big whoop.
I'm just saying, like, you're fighting for a playoff spot. All right.
Irrelevant. Yeah. That's the thing. It's irrelevant. The record was irrelevant.
Igor's
good episode.
All right. Let's see you, buddy. Follow us on Sports CMT. Everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Buy your sweatshirts, buy your shirts. Tom, maybe you'll be loyal and wear it next episode. All right, boys. Yeah, baby. All right. See you later.